And from wherever in the world you are joining us, welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle. I'm John, and this week we're taking you on a journey that will unleash your inner Tom Cruise. Well, we can only dream on that. So get your best mixing skills at the ready as we're talking all things cocktails and possibly something more at Walt Disney World. Welcome to Wafflers Wednesday. Goodness, what a start! I've got to say, it must be the promise of cocktails, right? There's got so many people actually watching the show. The chat is already on fire. If you haven't checked that out yet and you're watching live, do join us in the chat. We would love to see you. And I think we need to do this more often. I think just that premise of free alcohol.
What, just drinking on Wednesday?
I think that has to be. Yeah, we've got it wrong all these years. We've gone on the food bit, and actually, people are just here. They're just here for the drinks. That's all.
School night drinking, John. It's the future.
I think it is. I think that's definitely it. I think that's. Yeah, and I've got to say,
everyday drinking.
It's always after 5 o'clock somewhere. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's not really a deal breaker for me.
Especially if you're like at an airport, I don't think sort of a time for drinking really comes into it at all.
Airports are that weird place that has no time. It does not exist. Therefore,
5 a.m.
It can be any time and every time.
It's still wrong though. It's still wrong. It's still wrong to actually turn up at airport at 6 a.m. and go for a beer rather than a coffee. That's just like, that was just totally messing me whole system.
Join it together. Join it together, John. Have a Bailey's latte.
There you go.
Irish coffee.
There we go. Anyway, right, let's get the introductions out of the way, because we've forgotten that in the fact that we just want to just keep talking and stuff like that.
About drinking.
Yeah.
And while we're doing that, not even here.
I know.
Sad
Yeah, she's paying for everyone's drink in the chat, so we're all right. Tell us what your favorite cocktail is. Yeah. So joining me, because I'm not one to drink alone. It's not what you do. So anyway, who better than to join me is the Plonkies amongst us. So we've got Ben and Becca. Good evening to the two of you.
Hello.
Thank you for that lovely introduction.
There you go. I thought
I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% sure what that means, and I feel like I've been slightly insulted.
Oh dear. And then we've got it's one way to describe it. I think I can't. Yeah, I won't disgrace Claire while she's not here to defend herself again. But yeah, we'll leave it there. But Robin and Simon, thank you for joining us. I won't call you Plonkies because actually you're going to guide me through this. I've got my post-it notes at the ready of drinks that I need to go and check out in August, because actually I got the nice job today, because as people will probably know, I'm not a great cocktail fan. I will gladly go right the way around Epcot, and I would gladly have a beer in every single part of Epcot. And
I think that what that means, John, is you haven't had the right cocktails. I think that's probably.
I think that might be it. I think that might be it. And that's why I'm intrigued with this, because I actually feel that it takes a little bit of educating, and I'm not that kind of person to be educated. I'll see a beer and I'll just like, I know what I'm getting. I'll take that, and I know what the consequences are going to be in the morning. You know.
See, I just I like the look of the name that's on the menu.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what's in it. I'm not sure what that means, but I will have one of those because it sounds nice.
See, I go with the ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ben, we are not the same.
It has to be an alcohol that I like, and it has to be a fruit-based thing, beverage that I like. So
I think
I'm
with you, Rebecca.
yes to citrus, yes to berry, no to tropical fruits.
Do you know what? I want to just highlight a comment. Megan's just put it in that she's made it, and yes, today is 5 years ago. We published our first ever podcast. Oh my God, I can't.
Yay.
The Millennium Falcon is not a plane.
Please don't go and listen to it because it sounds absolutely awful on it.
I mean, if you are,
do you know what? I did post it on our Instagram stories yesterday that with the link to it. So if you just head to our Instagram or any of our socials, actually I'll put a link sometime in the chat later on, so you can just find all of our shows that we have improved over 5 years. I think.
God.
I'd like to think so.
Well.
Can I just address a couple of things in the chat? A massive thank you to the fact that loads of people have noticed my t-shirt. This is actually just the most fantastic. I can't wait. I dug it out and I just thought, do you know something? I'm only wearing it because Josh and Morg were on Journey into Imagination yesterday because they had a day off. They're both working today. But they were actually on Journey to Imagination and it broke down. And Josh said it took them 20 minutes to turn the song off. So it's one of those that's it's one of those. It's a bit like your
I was going to say
small world moment in Paris.
That's almost as bad as Small World.
And then also just like to say, a massive thank you. Kenny's in the chat as well. Yeah, you got it right there, Kev. Pint of tenants. That's my idea of going around the world. That would work for me every single time. So, yeah, good stuff. We did have a couple of hecklers. We had our Statler and Waldorf in the chat before we even started, which
they've not been on the show for a little while.
They'll be delighted that they actually get that description of a couple of Muppets. But
you may be hearing from them in a future show. Because I know one of them will be heading off to D23, lucky for them, in August. So we may be catching up with them in a couple of months' time to see how they got on and whether we got the announcers we want and not what we've got outside today, blue sky.
And I'm hoping to
that's the first time this year I've been able to say it's blue sky outside, and it's
first time in a while. Yeah, but thanks for joining us, guys. And actually, we're going to do a show next week.
Yeah.
All about the announcement yesterday, but I think it's only right that we kind of we'll begin with this because actually it's a massive elephant in the room, and what I would say, it's caused so much conversation, certainly on our socials and in the Wafflers chat, but also on nearly every other chat. And I know the Kershaws have joined us as well, Facebook group. Again, it's been one of those days where it's kind of lit up, possibly starting around a rumor, in inverted commas, from a news outlet in the US that I think even from our very early days, we learned very quickly we didn't believe a word that they used to send out, and that was 5 years ago. So
to be fair, John, I'll interrupt you and say that it's not just them.
No,
I've seen it on DVC groups.
There's a lot of finger pointing coming back.
I think what I'm hoping for within the next week, because we will go into full detail of everything we can do with the updated Lightning Lane next week. But I think what we need to sort of realize is that this news only dropped for Disney yesterday and was announced yesterday. A lot of the responses from Disney guest services, most of them didn't know this was happening. Most of them wouldn't have known this was happening. So there's probably a lot of intricacies in the system that haven't been worked out. And we know how Disney's IT over the years doesn't talk to one another very well.
Yeah.
So I think I would expect a clarification from Disney over the next few days with hopefully better news than what we've been experienced this afternoon, where we've been told that international guests are not to get advanced Lightning Lanes. But it's one of those things. If it is, we need an American friend who can add to our booking.
Yeah. I actually think this is this is one of those things that I actually feel that is now at the stage where there's that hiding behind data protection. Okay, and I can understand that because we can't access certainly the different shopping stores from the US. We can't actually see what their offers are because it's just banned purely because of data protection. Disney have kind of honed that in, and even for the fact that to book like a tour or anything like that, the telephone numbers that we previously would have used is actually becoming possible to try and get a booking on. And then the other side of it is the fact that nobody actually knows what's actually properly happening, and that becomes even more bizarre. You know, it's
and when you think it's less than a month and this system goes live.
Yeah.
It's just like... I feel sorry for Disney's IT. It's like, there we go. We're announcing this. Are you ready for it? No, release it anyway.
I feel sorry for their customer service department. As someone that's worked customer service before, it can be hell with people wanting to know what's going on and wanting to know what's going on now, and know they're not going to wait until you found out the information. You're going to give them the answer right this second.
Apologies, Carrie, if we get added to our booking.
I just think it's one of them. Yesterday, when the actual announcement was made, probably 99% of people are going, phew, they've at least sorted that out, and we've got a little bit better idea of what's actually going to happen. And then by today, we're in that bit where, we'll take it away from you because you're coming from the UK, or you come from, I think even Canadians are suffering from the same thing as well. It's like, we can't do it for you. And it's just like, all right. So actually, we've had a day where we thought, oh, Disney finally getting it. And now 24 hours later, it's no, we're back to that incompetent sort of muddle of one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. We
always think Disney are going to learn and just take that one step forward, but no, it doesn't happen, does it?
It's crazy. I actually think for such a massive company that the lack of cohesion, and I know I've complained about this before, so it's nothing new, but lack of cohesion between different IT systems is quite ridiculous in itself. You know, one set of servers doesn't talk to another set, and so you can't match up different bookings and things like that. It's crackers. It defies logic, you know. And I think there's an IT job there waiting for you, Ben. And for Simon. Simon, let's just take the whole.
I don't think I want to take on that challenge.
I think you basically take them offline.
Unlimited fast pass is lightning.
Yeah, take them offline for a year.
I don't know if part of the sort of benefits package was Club 33 annual passes. I don't know, a stay at Arlani whenever I wanted. Maybe I might think about it. But I think with all the announcements, it was definitely enough to drive a lot of us to drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see what you did there.
Keeping us on topic. But also, yes, cheers for happy birthday or anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy 5 years.
Where's your drink, John?
Just here. Look.
Oh, there you go.
I've got a little one. See, look, it's a little drink. Yeah, it goes further away.
That's not big.
Near, far away.
Gotta keep hydrated in this heat.
But yeah, 5 years. Yeah, I think when we started, I think I probably had a liver at that point. Yeah.
What are you saying about our show? It's such a joke, John.
You never know, do you?
Well, just try all the nice cocktails.
That's true.
Exactly. Right. So this is I'm gonna just flip this a little bit, because normally we go about this and then we run out of time at the end and things like that, right? So I'm looking at this I'm looking at this from being educated. Right, so I'm going to start with Simon, because you brought this up first, and I actually think this is a really good point. So I'm going to ask the four of you, what is it you're actually looking for in a great cocktail, apart from alcohol content. That's all. That goes without saying. So, go on, Simon. What would you recommend me to look for if I'm going for a cocktail?
It depends on what spirit you're after. So I always say, if you've got a particular spirit that you like or you think is your favorite, find something that is going to match your kind of. If you want fruity, go for something that's filled with fruit juice. For me, I want something that's balanced. I don't want something that's like too sweet or too much like excessive spirit taste. So the thing I always find is anything that's like tiki cocktails for me are the pinnacle of where it's at for cocktails in terms of most of them have come from a long-standing tradition of flavors and balance of cocktail. So the best things for me are by far and away the things that they offer at the Polynesian, because they're almost like tried and tested. They might have a Disney name to them, but the origins of the cocktail mix are a tried and tested recipe most of the time. So I'd say you can always guarantee from me that I will drink pretty much anything that is on the menu at Trader Sam's and anything that's on the menu at Tandoor Lounge, because they are the best, for me, the best blend of flavors.
I've never seen a bad drink on their menu.
Spirit, and they get a decent mix of fruit, tart, and alcohol forward flavor that I just find I've never gone wrong with anything I've chosen there.
Well, what fruits or tarts? Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Well, wait,
Sorry,
I do. John needs to go. I'm here.
Relegated.
I couldn't resist. Sorry. Robin, what about you?
Well, I'm actually not a massive drinker. So I need a cocktail that isn't going to hit me in the face with alcohol.
Yeah.
And in Disney especially, I like to go for something that's pretty or unusual or unique or
frozen.
I do like a frozen cocktail. I will say I do like a frozen cocktail, but I tend to go for something Instagrammable. Let's be honest. I go for something that looks good in the glass and hopefully tastes nice. And I find personally the drinks in Disney very, very strong. So I normally tell the bartender to go easy on the alcohol, and then it's just about right for me.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good call, Megan. Yeah. We were shocked Claire wasn't joining us, and actually, what I would say is, I think at the very outset she was meant to be doing this show, because actually she would have taken us to places that probably none of us even know existed. However,
basically, we didn't need to be here. Just Simon and Claire would have.
I think that would have been it, wouldn't it? But actually, sometimes family has to come first. So
sometimes, I guess.
Sometimes, but she's enduring the year. Was it the year 6 concert or Leavers concert or whatever it is tonight? So I'm sure she'll catch up, and then she'll be holding her head in her hands, going, "You've not mentioned this one. You've not mentioned that one." No. So just wait.
Supplied a few pictures, so we will have a little bit of a game of guess the cocktail later on.
Well, tell us what it is, because we can't remember.
I would like to point out the pictures that I've uploaded. I at least know where they are. I've got Simon to bring up all the menus so I can work it out what they are on the menu.
I think we've had some of them. We do have the names.
The location of some of them.
So
we can work out. And
we'll get there.
Someone in the comments will know.
Yeah.
Someone will know what it is.
I think Jason's been around Walt Disney World enough times to have cocktails, so you may guess that he's knowledgeable enough to tell us what they all are.
Yeah, Territory. That sounds an intriguing one.
Every time we've been to Territory Lounge, it's been closed. We've just had bad timing when we've got
too early.
Yeah. So we end up at Geyser Point instead.
There are worse places to end up.
There are indeed.
So Ben and Becca, very quickly. Ben, what are you looking for in a cocktail?
You know what? I never used to be a cocktail drinker. It was only until, when was it, 2018, for our wedding anniversary, we went to California Grill. And I ordered something on the menu, which I thought it said non-alcoholic. So I ordered that because I wasn't feeling sort of on top form. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to order that. And then I didn't realize the name was also the same as an alcoholic drink on the same menu. So I had the alcoholic one, and it was like, I loved that. It was blackberry something, and I can't remember what it was, but I really enjoyed it.
I don't remember that much.
Was, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But since I had that, I loved it. So, and it's just meant that it's opened me up to just trying more drinks, and I'll look at the menu, I will look at the name, I'll go, that sounds interesting, I will try that. I'm not someone to say no to but there's so many different drink options at Disney.
Yeah.
And I know Claire would probably say, I think we've only been to Nomad Lounge once, which was for the first time last year.
I can't actually remember what I had at Nomad Lounge either.
Oh, there's definitely photos of Nomad Lounge in there.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So for me, I will try whatever's on the menu.
Okay, Becca, about you?
So I tend to go for something that's either got a gin or a vodka base, spirit base, and then, as I said earlier, something a bit berry or a bit citrusy. I don't like things like pineapple.
Yeah,
That rules out the pollen.
So it tends to unfortunately rule out all the ones at the time. And
so it's basically saying, yeah. So you're basically saying now this is, and this again, like I said, I want this to be sort of quite a journey for people, because actually, if you're like me and you don't, you basically are. I've just seen the one thing I've actually seen here that really does sort of float me boat, the refillable mimosas and Steakhouse 71 for breakfast. Now that for me is a great way of starting the day, because it's the word refillable means that's my kind of start to the morning when I'm on holiday. So that would be a great idea. I'm thinking everyone's going to be different. So if you're in the chat, if you've got a favorite, please share it with us. We'll try to get back to you in the chat. I know Joe Logan's in there, and he's actually.
I've just seen John Self has just joined in saying that Waldy's World did a great job upgrading the zero proof cocktails.
I would agree.
See,
I often have an alcohol-free one.
Okay.
There is at least one alcohol-free photo as well of one of the cocktails I had most recently. In one of the many photos I've uploaded.
Just don't do what I do, or order the non-alcoholic and end up with the alcoholic. I was just too polite to send it back. So
too British.
Yeah,
it's maybe the thing. Yeah, I think if you've got a car as well, that might be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
that'd be good. So, where do we go next? I'm thinking from what you said to begin with. If I asked us to go resort based, will I see more of Robin's photographs there? Or
you might. I don't know. You might. Yeah. Do you know what? I think you'll see more of my photos if you go resort based, because I do think sometimes you get a good cocktail. I don't think we drink them often in the parks. I think because it's often very hot.
Yeah.
I mean, Epcot is
Epcot's the exception.
But realistically, we don't tend to drink a lot in the parks.
Yeah.
It's usually very warm during the day.
If you think Magic Kingdom, unless you're going to eat a sit down,
it's still not cocktails though, is it?
The cocktail menus are not as well developed in Magic Kingdom, because
they've only got beer and wine though, I think, haven't they? And sangria.
Some have got cocktail options, but I think they're really limited to there'll be a basic mimosa riff, and they're not as well developed, I think, as the bars that are at the resorts. I think that is the best quality cocktail recipes are crafted.
And I think that was the point I was about to make. Simon,
Ogre's aside, Ogre's Cantina, I think, is a different beast. But I think
so what we'll do is we'll do the resorts first, and we'll come back to maybe some of the places that you'd recommend if we were in the theme parks.
Yeah, because we can't exclude Nomad Lounge.
Yeah, and I think
can't miss that. No.
Oh yeah, too right. That's already on my list for the summer as well. Yeah. Tell us, you lead the way. Where are we going? Where are we going first?
Well, it depends if you're with either me, Simon, or Ben and Becca, because we could take you to the Top of the World Lounge.
Yeah,
that's.
They've got some nice cocktails up there.
They do some nice cocktails. We do have a photo of the pictures from there. Shall I find it? I'm sure it's here somewhere.
Do you know, I
So
don't
with
know if
the
I've taken a
with the
picture of the
read
drinks.
No,
Yeah,
but I think we took a picture of the menu.
Yeah.
So those were the drinks that we got most recently.
Wow.
What are they? Do you remember, Simon? I think the one on the right might be the Cursed Pirate, but it doesn't look like the Cursed Pirate. I don't know.
It's definitely cursed.
It is definitely. It's very. They were really nice though. They were fancy cocktails. There was a lot that went into those. I think if you're going up there, you're going up for a nice cocktail. You're going to spend for a nice cocktail, and you're going to watch the fireworks.
Don't look at the bill. Just like
You don't look at the bill. You just tap your magic band and look away.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, there's going to be exceptions, but you're going to expect to pay anywhere between like $15 and probably $18.
Yeah.
Some of the places are going to be a bit more depending on what goes in them, but I think an average price for a cocktail at nearly most resorts is going to be in that sort of ballpark.
Yeah.
So I think as long as you know what you're going into and expect it, unless you've got hundreds of dollars to blow in an evening and you're going to get really, really drunk, then yeah, it's kind of a thing. I always think it's a thing to like enjoy a couple, and even if you're sharing a couple, just to get the flavor of the cocktail. I think it's a nice experience to not have to blow the bank. Yeah, spend $250 because you bought 6 cocktails between a group.
Top of the World Lounge is special because it is expensive because you need to be a DVC member.
Yeah, it's very expensive if you think about it that way.
You either need to be a friend that's a DVC member, it's just it's not the cheapest place to get a cocktail, but I have to admit I love the experience up there. I think it just adds to it.
The only frustration
I can't remember
for me
what one I had
with it is how they've changed the Top of the World Lounge now. There's often, and most recently, the times we've been up there, they've closed the main bar for the ticketed events.
They have a dessert party up there,
so you then don't have access to the regular menu options, and they've got a wet bar outside that they're serving from. So the options you've got are a bit more limited.
Yeah,
I don't know whether they can still go to the bar and get those for you, but I kind of feel he's just taking the edge off it a little bit for the Top of the World Lounge experience. But
you need to check the day you're going up.
Check the day you're going to go up there. But the Cursed Pirate for me is always what I would go for there because it's rum and pineapple and lime. So it's like the best flavors for me.
Becky, you'd love it.
I can't remember the one that I had. It was berry and.
I can't remember what we drank, but I can remember what we ate.
You had a cider.
Yeah, I remember what I ate, which was that huge pretzel.
Oh yeah,
the cake.
Yeah, that cake. Yeah,
and that's something else that's worth mentioning. I think I know we're talking about cocktails, but lots of the bars have like a light bar snack type menu, and you can often find some real gems on them. Yeah. If we're going from there and sticking to a Magic Kingdom resort, I would say Enchanted Rose is one of my favourite bars at the Grand Floridian. And they do truffle cheese fries, which are just...
I think a lot of these places, like we've said, it's the experience. It's not just the drink you go and have, it's the food you have with them.
Yes. And it's the nice atmosphere. It's the nice, cool, air-conditioned area.
So... I did not enjoy the drink I had at Enchanted Rose. I had the lavender fog.
No.
It was not nice.
No, not a fan of that one at all. I think, is that the one that's in the middle?
I've got a feeling that's the middle one.
Yep.
The one on the right is the floral bitter beauty, I think. Thank you to Claire's photo that's in our drive here because she's got a picture of that in there.
And that's probably that's going to have a level of bitterness that with the Campari flavour.
Yeah, that doesn't look good to me. I've got to say that's my worst nightmare of a drink. That
my favourite there is the one on the left. That was what I drank on my last visit, which is the Island Rose, which is vodka based, but it's grapefruit and rose vodka, lime juice, orgeat, which is almond syrup, pineapple juice, and then it's got bitters and rose water in it.
Oh, wow.
That for me was. It was still an element of like tiki inspired flavors in there, but it was a much more elegant cocktail. It has the Enchanted Rose is an elegant bar, It's not like the rough and ready kind of Trader Sam's vibe. It's a really elegant setting. So I think that for me steps it up a bit. But the cocktails at Enchanted Rose are that next step, a little bit up in price range as well. They kind of 18, verging up to about $25. So you are paying a little bit more for the cocktails there, but you're in a really nice environment. The cocktails,
the Grand Floridian,
they're really well put together. They're presented really well. So I'd still say it's worth every penny going there because they've put a lot of effort into shaping that cocktail menu.
So
what did you get there, Ben?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I like this.
I must have had so much to drink last June.
I know.
I can't remember.
You need to look through your photos and work it out.
I only remember what I had there because I remember I didn't like it, and I remember that I wanted to avoid it the next time.
But I remember that we said the food there was incredible,
The food was
so that was the reason we'd go back and try something different to drink. And I think
Yeah,
that's the thing
I
with
have to
food
say
dishes.
I don't love their signature cocktails. I've had the barman make me just regular bog standard cocktails. I find they're a little bit too fancy for me there. They're a little bit too elegant. You can taste the alcohol a little bit too much.
There wasn't much on that menu that my brain went, oh yes, I have to try that because that sounds really nice.
They're very unique.
Yeah.
I thought there was a lot of unique things with lots of things in them, and there'd be one or two things I'd think, well, I don't like that flavor, so I can't have that now. Yeah.
Isn't it weird? It's just it's that thing that I'd know fine well. I would have read a cocktail menu about 20 times, and then at the end of the day, turn around and just ordered a beer because it seems easier.
Do you know what, John? I've done that. I did that a few times last June. But sometimes you have to be in the mood to drink to know what you want to drink.
Yeah, but I feel as if I'm missing out on something here, and this is why this is such a good show to be doing, because actually, it is taking that risk, and it is.
This is just John's research for his trip.
Exactly. Yeah.
So anything that gets added into our list of what we talk about, it's like John needs to know about this.
So all I'll say, John, is on the menu, right? The menus they always tend to list the highest volume ingredient first. So what is going to be most forward in the cocktail will always be the first ingredient first. Often the spirit aspect is listed first.
Yeah.
So some of the other elements they add in tend to be the back flavors of things, like when they're adding Angostura bitters or rose bitters in, they're just like an addition to the flavor. It's always going to be that first couple of items on there that give you the most distinctive aspect of the cocktail. And I guess it's whether you want to experience that combination of flavors together and you think, oh, that sounds like it's appealing.
I think that's it. I think you've hit the nail on the head firmly there. That's exactly it, Simon.
I don't think in every cocktail you'll necessarily get each of those flavors being distinctly forward in there that you'd go, oh, I don't like that type of spirit. I don't like that, and therefore I'm not going to have it. If it's further down the menu, it might just bring an element to the drink that is different when it's mixed with everything else. And that's the real quality of a decent cocktail crafter, that they can put together a cocktail that sounds like it would be unusual, but when it's in a glass mixed, shaken, and it just comes together as a drink. But yeah, sometimes it is a bit of a hit and miss thing, and sometimes it's not always what you expect it's going to be.
But it's also worth remembering that you're in America, and if you don't like it, you can tell your waiter and say, actually, this isn't for me. And they will say, what can I swap it for you? Which is amazing.
We've experienced this. Not from the table next to us, also sat down next to us, and they said to the waitress, I'll have whatever she's having.
Because they saw my lavender fog. Thought it looked nice.
Is that because they watched When Harry Met Sally?
Had it, and then they literally within a minute gone like, no, I'm not having that. I want something else. And we were just in shock, going like you've ordered something. That's your choice.
Alcohol. That's expensive.
It's like, if I didn't like it, I will either drink it or I would order one that I'll try another one.
With it.
That's the British way.
You're in America. At those prices, Disney can replace it for you and give you a new one.
Wow.
That's a game changer for me. Then. That is it.
How many cocktails can I go through? How many cocktails at Enchanted Rose can I go through? But I'm just looking through the menu, just trying to think what the food's incredible. We had the croquettes, truffle fries last time, but yeah, I'm just looking at the drinks and going like,
you trying to remember what you had?
Yeah, I can't remember what I had. It was obviously that good.
Actually, yours was slightly nicer than mine.
Yeah.
They do have an extensive menu on there.
I was going to say, I've looked, and normally it's like one page, it fits on the app, but I'm having to scroll.
I feel like it was like 3 or 4 pages. Well, 3 or 4 pages in their menu.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so, I'm just going to pick up. Has anyone been to? Joe Logan was talking about. Was it Crockett's Tavern at Fort Wilderness for a moonshine?
No,
margarita.
I've never been there.
No. So that's another one we could check out as well. Any other resorts that are a must do? Because actually that's
Three Bridges.
Yeah, I was going to say there's definitely some photos of Three Bridges.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has Claire got any? Because I know I was going to say, I know there's certainly of Simon. I think you've got a margarita in one and then the sangria flight in the other.
Yeah.
That sangria flight is the one that I think when we've done a show, previously done a show about drinking, that's the one that always appeals to me. I've got to admit, because I do like a bit of sangria, and also it's the whole thought of a flight of sangria.
They were good.
I'm not a big sangria drinker, and I gave it a go because
I think it was Claire told you to get it.
Claire said go for it, and I thought. Next time I was there, I was like, I'm not having another margarita next time. I'll try the sangria. And it was really good. So, definitely that'd be top of my list for drinks at Three Bridges now. But I mean, the margarita was great. That's one of my absolute favorite cocktails is a well put together margarita. But yeah, the sangria flight is, especially if you're going to sit and drink whilst you're eating as well, that's going to be a flight that will last you before, during, and after your meal. So.
I've decided that I need to take more notes of what I'm drinking. I know I've been to these places, but
what I've actually had, I know I've never had sangria.
Well, I've never had sangria before, and I didn't know if I'd like it. So that was part of the reasons for Simon getting the flight, so I could try them all. There was one I didn't really like, but I quite liked all the rest. So it was good.
Give them a go.
Yeah. I feel like they were very drinkable. They were nice. Well, they were quite fruity flavors though, but I don't think they were tropical. I think they were just more like citrusy.
That's fine.
I think you'd like.
Ben can have the if there's any tropically ones.
Yeah.
They still had the wine forward flavour as you would expect in sangria, so you could still taste that aspect.
But it was. I'm not a wine drinker, and I didn't find it awful. So
I do like a nice glass of wine.
Yeah.
I've got to, I'll put my hand up as well though, because actually we had when we were in Lanzarote, we had a white wine sangria, and I'd never really touched white wine sangria, and it was like drinking pop. It was one of those things.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
It was gorgeous, and then we went and we actually asked what went into it, and so the lady at the bar, she was brilliant, and we basically, I think we'd gone just before they were about to close. And by the time we'd sat down and she'd done us this jug of sangria, they had another about 12 British people just sort of drifting in because there was someone sat there. And so in the end, she said, "Oh, look, I'll just call it €10 and that's it." Because she knew fine well she basically got a whole evening's worth of custom out of us. And it was gorgeous. And it was white wine and then Prosecco and then just fruit and other. I think a bit of 7-Up, and then she put I'm trying to remember, it was just a hint of grapefruit in or something. Absolutely on the nose. Was one of the best drinks, and it took us a while to drag ourselves away without going for the second one. I've got to admit that was very, very tempting. So I'm well up for that. I think Carlos was in the chat as well. So yeah. Sangria in Florida, perfect combination.
Our next trip isn't park heavy, so all of these resorts are like calling my name now. We've decided that we're going to do a Skyliner crawl at some point.
Cool.
So,
That sounds good.
It's going to be a daytime one.
yeah, followed by Disney Springs in the evening.
Followed by Ben and Becca sort of recording the whole day with sort of the wonky cameras and things like that. It's just
We don't need a drink for that.
Yeah. Oh, fabulous! Is there anywhere else? Come on, let's try and rattle through some more of the resorts that you would actually go to, because
I want to go back to the Polynesian, to my favorite bar, which is Trader Sam's.
Yeah,
It is on our list, actually.
I don't know if I've got any.
This
I don't know if I
year.
uploaded any pictures of that. I think
Oh,
I've
yeah.
definitely got one of the.
Claire's got one.
Just Claire. Oh, there we go. I've
Claire's
got one
got
from
one.
Bamboo Lounge. Or
A few of these pictures we've combined, so they're not all from the same place.
Oh, look at that.
I think the left one looks like it might be Ogres, but the
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah, that
ogres.
is.
That's
Yeah.
ogres.
Ton. But that cocktail on the right there. Yep.
So I think the thing with Trader Sam's for me is it's more than just the drinks; it's the theatre aspect of the whole place as well.
yeah.
So
You have to go, John. You just have to go. Even if you get a beer, it's fine.
Yeah.
Get a beer. They'll serve you beer.
It's fine. I'll be more respectful than that.
We've never been either,
Yeah.
so
I'll order the Uber
Yeah.
before. Yeah, I'll get the order. I'll order the Uber before I even think about going to that. But that sounds a really Yeah, I've got to admit,
it's a bit
Yeah,
like
they-
what I said earlier about Territory Lounge, that we just never been in at the right time, at the Poly at the right time to either the queues too long, or it was just like we'd already had plans for that evening to
Go elsewhere.
go elsewhere. So it was
So
like
that is the thing, right? With Trader Sam's, is it's
It's a
so in
nightmare.
demand. You have to put
Yeah.
your name down, and then you're usually on like a
Yeah.
2-hour waiting list, unless you get in there early enough.
right?
But as Karen said in the chat there, they do have the terrace area outside. The only bit that they don't have outside is they'll serve you the drinks, but they'll be in plastic cups. They won't serve you them in the tiki mugs. You don't get the full theatre experience as you do inside.
It's
But the drinks,
not the same.
the drinks are still the same recipe, but you're going to have to wait. You're going to need to kind of plan it that you're going, because you're going to go to Trader Sam's and put your name down and expect to wait and then go in there.
But you know what you can do? You can put your name down and go next door to Captain Cook's and get something to eat. Or you can go
go upstairs to Bamboo Lounge.
or go upstairs to Taboo Lounge.
Which is another really good bar to go
It's
to,
a
and
really good bar.
that won't have the same aspect of it. But for me, right, you can't. There's those big sharing drinks in Trader Sam's, like that one, which I think was the Oa, which is almost like what they call a scorpion bowl in the tiki world. It's like quite rum heavy, but it's meant for loads of people to dig their straws in and share. And then all that stuff is like cinnamon stuff that you throw on the flames, and it.
oh, okay.
So it's all part of the theatre of that tiki side of things. Is like it's hard. That's not really matched at any other bar there, and it is like more in keeping with like tiki culture. But I think in terms of like world culture for tiki, Trader Sam's bar at both Disney World and Disneyland are really well respected for both their recipes and the theming and setting of the place. So just for that alone, that for me is probably the best bar that they have at Disney World. I think it's just that step above every other bar that they have there.
So if you did that and then went up to is Tambu Lounge, the one that has the drink in the pineapple, the most photographed drink on Disney property, really, isn't it?
Which is the Lapu
Lapu.
More importantly,
I don't know what you mean.
There you go, busted. There we go.
more importantly, you can get the noodles from Ohana there after 4 p.m.
Yes. And the Ohana
And-
dessert, which is
And the
also
dessert.
amazing. So there are things to do while you pass the time, but plan to spend
The
a
whole
full
night.
evening there. Yeah. By the time you get in, It'll be worth the wait, but it will
do
be
they
a
just
wait.
call you? Do they just call you, or do you get one of them pager things that are like you get if you go to Sonar? You can sit up the
No, you
stairs
get
at
a
Sonar.
text.
You get text, but I don't know whether that works on UK numbers.
No,
but
I know. let's not start that war again.
Last time we were there, we got moaned at by from a cast member at Geyser Point because before I'd never put the number in because it wouldn't work, and they'd text them and it would just bounce back to Disney. So I thought I'm not going to do that, but I'll make sure my email address and if you press that in-app notifications to notify me. And we were sitting there waiting, not getting notified. Went up there after waiting like 45 minutes, and they said, "Oh, we've given your table away. You didn't. It's like you didn't put your number in, so we just deleted your reservation." And they blamed us because you should have just put your UK number and it would have worked. I said, like, I've done that before and it didn't work, but.
I think they have fixed it in recent times.
Because then we had, talking of another lounge that we had a similar issue at, was Nomad Lounge. Was we got the walk up, 4 hours go by? No, since we did it, since we chose the time of the walk up, and then we met up friends, and then we went back and was like, why have we not got this notification? Went up there and they said, oh, we booked you in earlier. There'd been a miss up on the app. So someone else who had done it probably at the same time just walked straight up and they let them in. But on Disney's IT just didn't work well for us.
Not on that trip.
So but there's always next time.
They
did let us into Nomad.
Yes.
So that was all right.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
I think
the
as
cast
well.
member
That was the main thing.
was happy to sort it in Geyser Point, less so.
Oh, that's a shame.
That's the thing. If it does go wrong, Disney are usually pretty well. The cast members on the ground are usually
Thank you, Carrie.
the ones that will help you out. Carrie's funny. Yeah.
Carrie, that's such a lovely thing.
Suddenly going to get all these text messages.
Oh, my dinner's ready. Who is this?
Oh, brilliant.
So just to finish off, John, Tambu Lounge, that also has that is still tiki inspired, like Trader Sam's.
Yeah.
But that had some really classic tiki cocktail stuff on there. The back scratcher, the rum swizzle, lapu lapu, Mai Tais. They're all like traditional tiki cocktails that Disney have taken. So loads of them are really tried and tested. Like you won't really go wrong with most of those on that menu.
Okay.
I had a Mai Tai when we went there.
I think you did.
The Pina Colada, I think, is one that they serve on the cruise line as well.
Yes.
That is available at the Tambu Lounge. It's a frozen.
Do they not
cocktail.
do that at some of the pool bars?
I think they.
Yeah.
I think they do as well. But that's
sounds
like really
very familiar. That one.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the. I think that tends when we were on the 3-night staycation cruise. That was one that was always on drink of the day, or it was always in rotation.
It was one of the special ones, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember having that every day.
You had that one.
Because that's actually something that I would like to give special mention to. You know, I said at the early part of the show, I like a frozen cocktail.
Yep.
One of my favourite places to get a frozen cocktail is a pool bar. One of the Disney pool bars. They seem to always have them on offer. Yeah. And you can have them alcoholic, non-alcoholic. If they do it as a daiquiri with rum, you can say, can you make it with vodka, please? And they'll do that because it's only the frozen mixture that's pre-done. You can change the alcohol.
Oh, wow.
And we have some cocktails right here.
That's not that. No. What's the one in green?
That was a margarita of Simon's.
Is it avocado?
Avocado.
I don't think it's the avocado one. That was from the Polynesian pool.
Okay.
But mine was definitely a strawberry. And then I think the other side was a strawberry daiquiri made with vodka, not rum, because I don't like rum.
Okay.
And I think it was a Long Island iced tea because I think we nearly died at the cost of them.
Yeah.
Because that was at what's the name of it? Riviera.
Bar Riva at Riviera.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
That's something that most of those types of bars always have like a consistent bar menu between each of the resorts. If they're a pool bar, they're always going to have a selection of kind of standard cocktails. Now, what each of them do is then they tweak it depending on what the alcohol options they have. Okay. So you often get Long Island iced tea as a standard offering at loads of bars. what they'll then do is tweak it and use their what they refer to as their top shelf menu items, and it will be the more expensive premium spirits that they'll use off the back bar that just bumps the price up just a few dollars more. So you might find that instead of like in a Long Island iced tea, it's usually got 4. It might have 5 ingredients in it instead, and they'll be slightly more premium. But they always kind of stick to those consistent things of there's always going to be a margarita. There'll usually always be a Long Island iced tea, and then it will be tweaked to the individual bar and the location it's at. But that one was the Riviera spiked iced tea, which had Grey Goose vodka and gin and extra tequila. So it was
I've never had a Long Island,
and it was more
I've
expensive.
been wanting to try one though.
Yeah.
There's too much alcohol for me.
I'm just looking forward to going on a cruise this year because I'm just thinking, I wonder how many of these might be on the Disney cruise ships.
Oh, all of them would be there.
Yeah,
and I'm sure if you went with a particular one, I'm sure somebody would get the book out and they'd make one for you as well. So
as long as it's not like the one that was on the Disney Wish, was it the one from Hyperspace Lounge that was like $5,000?
No.
I'm good for that one.
No.
I think that other frozen one, I think, was the frozen margarita with Dole Whip lime. I think that's what.
Okay.
Ooh.
That
sounds nice.
Yeah.
There we go. That is what it was. It was Dole Whip lime.
Because it had the chili lime seasoning on the rim as well.
Yeah.
So
it just reminded me of the nightmare once we had a avocado margarita from Mexico.
Mexican Pavilion.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
No.
Oh
no. No. It was horrific.
It's horrible. They do have a very nice blackcurrant margarita there.
And blood orange.
Old Magic, Black Magic, something
Black
like
Magic.
that. I can't remember what mine was called.
Do you know, we have never really spent any time in there, which I think is sacrilege. We should spend more time in there, in the margarita bar. Is that inside the pavilion, that one? Or is I've only once queued outside for the frozen margaritas, only to queue in all of it to get to the front for them to say the one I wanted was sold out.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So, and I didn't want, and I think I'd just set my heart on it. They ended up leaving and not having any.
There's not a lot of space in there, but you can take the margaritas to go.
Yep.
And just sit on the fountain.
Sit around the fountain, yeah. Just make sure you're sitting in a dry spot.
Well, it depends how hot it is, Becca. Do I need to cool down?
Oh, dear. So I am going to move us swiftly on because I'm aware we could keep this show going for hours. I think we need our weekly mention of the boathouse because obviously if we're ever talking about food, the boathouse always comes up. I think certainly it was at the Duck Raz and the Shipwreck at the boathouse. I always seem to get really good reviews. The one thing that really intrigues me because
I forgot.
I'm looking at there's a picture. There's a picture that Claire put.
You had it
there, but the actual the Shipwreck one comes in a beautiful glass that's got a boathouse on it, and I'm more intrigued. Is it one of those glasses? Is it one of those glasses that you bring home with you? I'm just saying that it doesn't stay in the boathouse for very long. Glass. Yeah, I was thinking that, but yeah.
I don't think there's many souvenir glasses anymore that I can think of that.
It's always Yak and Yeti, the Landry Group. They've always got a souvenir glass.
Yeah.
I'm not that interested in the souvenir glass. I don't have any room in my cupboard.
The best souvenir glasses are the tiki mugs from Trader Sam's.
Now, to be fair, I would be tempted with the tiki mug.
No, that is definitely
I think that's hideous. I hate. To be fair, I think this one's pretty hideous as well. But Simon loves them.
they look really good.
Yeah. I just love
the one in the dishwasher. One would creep you out a little bit.
And the thing is that
I don't know. This one's pretty terrifying.
I don't think these are, as mugs go, these are ceramic mugs. They're really decent quality.
Yeah.
The price you pay that is listed on the Trader Sam's menu includes this, and it's often about $30 for the drink plus the mug, which you will struggle to buy the mug for that sort of price outside the business. So I don't think they're that bad value in terms of like souvenir items you're taking away. I've only got 3 from Disney. I've got a raft of other tiki mugs that were from separate companies, but I have a Mai Tai one, I have a Zombie one, I have a Club 33 20,000 League special. But there was the couple that I definitely wanted from Trader Sam's, and those were the.
I can see Robin looks impressed.
Robin absolutely hates it.
I bought this for Simon. He wasn't even there because I know how much he loves the tiki mug, tiki cup. Like, yeah, and even there, I was like, well, that's hideous. Okay, yep, sign my name on it.
But you don't deny that when they've got a cocktail in and they're garnished and straws, they do look nice, don't they?
Yeah.
They present a cocktail well in them. But I think that for me is a nice little souvenir takeaway from those bar experiences. But yeah, you don't necessarily find them at many others.
Not for purchase, anyway.
No.
You have to have a handbag. Oh, no, obviously I didn't say that. No, you definitely don't do that.
So did we have pictures of anything at the boathouse?
I don't think I think Claire, was there a photo?
I couldn't see any on
photos.
Yeah, there was. I think there was one that Claire put in, but it doesn't matter because I'm aware we'll run out of time, and besides, we have got so much to share with people as well. So, shall we have a quick dip into the parks, because we don't need to do Magic Kingdom. We've already discussed that in so much of the fact that there's not much cocktail action going on there. But what about? And actually, I'll take us to Animal Kingdom first, because actually, let's talk about Nomad Lounge. But also, if you are between Everest and the Yak and Yeti, just keep an eye out for our Josh, because he's been training this week, and his training has actually taken him into a number of the different places, and it's basically the mobile cart, and then some of the little shacks where you can actually pick up a cocktail or two. So he has been serving cocktails. So that little segment of the park that takes you more or less from the Yak and Yeti right round to Everest, or even just before the Nemo show, that's where he is working for the summer. So we might get it more specific tomorrow, because he was doing his earning his ears exam this afternoon. So we might have a specific place we can direct people towards next week. But yeah, Animal Kingdom seems to be, apart from Epcot, we'll go to Epcot in a moment, but let's do the Nomad Lounge is the place. He's the one that I think everyone gets directed to. Yeah. Certainly when Claire's on the show, that goes without saying that everyone has to go to the Nomad Lounge.
I think it's one of those things. It's like, I think Claire must ask people before they join the show. It's like, have you been to Nomad Lounge? Oh, you're off. No, done. It's like, I have to admit, yeah, it's like we've been, I wouldn't say pressured by Claire to go to Nomad Lounge, but it was suggested.
It was a great experience. It was really relaxing, to be fair, and the drinks and the food were really good.
Yeah, Annapurna Zing, I think is what I had.
I think that might be in that photo.
One that was on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one on
that's
the right.
one of my favourites. I agree. It's a nice one.
And this is another one that
I've still got that glow cube in the drawer.
I think I had a non-alcoholic while we were here, actually.
Do you know they do that as a non-alcoholic version as well, which I've had before, and I think it's quite nice as well. And I forget the name of it, but it's basically the same, just without the alcohol.
It's the Zingiber Fizz, I think, is the
fizzy.
Yeah, it's the non-alcoholic one.
No, I had a mocktail while we were there. But I can't remember what one.
It didn't look like that then.
Didn't look like that, no.
Can't have been that one.
I'm
strawberry and something. I'm sure it was.
A strawberry and something, right? We're looking at the menu now. What do we think
we were waiting.
No,
I'll know the name of it when I hear
Lily Gorilli, could it be?
That
might have been the Lily Gorilli. Yeah.
Strawberry and Sprite.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Yep.
Lily Gorilli. That's
Lily Gorilli. That was the one.
I remember because you had trouble pronouncing it.
Yes.
And that was without any alcohol.
Not without any alcohol. Yeah. We all know what my pronunciation of the English language is like.
Some of the cocktails are complicated. I agree.
Yeah, I would agree as well.
I think
I always go, I want that one. It's easier. Just put someone on the menu you want.
Trader Sam's, I think that is one of the most complex cocktail menus they have at Disney. some of the ingredients that are on there. But for me, it's still the Lamu libation. It's got banana rum and guava puree, and it's almost like an element of like alcoholic pog juice flavour to it.
Actually,
That
that sounds really nice.
But it's got pineapple in there, so you probably wouldn't go for it.
I'll go for it.
How pineapple-y is it?
Well, I would say the most forward flavour is the 151 rum, the 151 proof rum that's sitting on the top. So you get the dose of that at the very end when you take the last mouthful. Is really intense rum flavour.
It's quite pineapple-y as well, I would say. So I'm not sure it's for you. Not sure it's for you. But
not for me.
They've got a lot of cocktails on the menu.
They do.
So they even have a hot coffee with butter in, like a cocktail that's got melted butter in, and we always laugh about it. But
it's effectively like a liqueur coffee. It's got Crown Royal in there, so it's.
But it's good on the very few days that winter arrives in Florida. There's a nice little warmer. And of course, the food is amazing in Nomad. Even if you're not big drinkers, the food is worth going for, if nothing else. We go in, Simon has a cocktail, I have a Diet Coke, and we order some food. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that.
There's sliders.
Yes.
Oh, but do you know they've changed the sliders since I last had them because they were impossible and they were really, really nice.
They were the impossible ones we had.
I'm pretty sure they're beef now. I think they're beef.
Yeah. I was really surprised when we ordered them that they were impossible, but it's
the plant-based has become a Korean barbecue bao bun.
Yeah. I think Josh and Morg spent some time on Sunday in the Nomad Lounge, and so I think both Claire and I were bombarded with food pictures, purely on that sort of premise of, oh my word, this is and actually again value for money within the theme park seems to be sort of the feedback I'm getting from Josh is very much that down the line that it's actually it's not as expensive as people would say it used to be. And I think him and Morg are making the most of the fact that they get a big discount because they're working there. So it's actually,
I think that's the good thing there is it shares the kitchen with Tiffin's, right? So there is an element that the food is prepared in the same kitchen as the
elevated.
Yeah. So it might be price wise, it's not as expensive as a signature restaurant, but the quality I think is there with the food.
Is there anywhere else in Animal Kingdom that can get something? I'm just thinking.
Dawa Bar, which is next to Tusker House.
I think there's a photo of Claire there with drinks in Animal Kingdom on the left.
Yeah.
And there's that hidden gem bar near Everest as well. That I can't remember whether it was John or Claire.
Yes, I know the one you mean.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Drinks from there before.
I can't remember what it's called.
No, I don't remember what it's called either, but I remember getting cocktails. I think I got a non-alcoholic frozen cocktail there because it was very warm that day.
I'm just
going to check about Nomad. If I'm going to Animal Kingdom, I'm entering the park and then constantly trying for a walk up. It's like trying to get one for Trader Sam's. Is you've got to be on the app, trying constantly to get a walk up reservation for it, but it's worth the effort to get in there. I think it's always nicely air conditioned inside. It's not rammed with too many people, and the drinks menu there. I can't even recommend a specific favourite, John, because I think if you went there, just choose something that sounds like
good on the menu.
Yeah. I think the other side to that is the fact that it's just choosing something that you're going to take a little bit of time to enjoy and actually just soak up the atmosphere. And I think that's possibly something that is a must do. And I think that for me is quite good. Thank you, John Self, and really appreciate you just dipping in and out of and just providing that little bit of update for all of us. It's the fact that Nomad's gone through a major menu change in the last 3 months. So again, it could be something again for the summer. I'll actually feed back to everybody and tell you what we're doing. Because I think that'd be quite a good one. And that's definitely on my list for the summer. It totally goes without saying.
One thing that we learned on our last trip to Nomad, and in all of the trips we've been, we didn't know. Our server told us about above the bar, there's lots of pieces of paper just hanging down. I've never thought much of it. Does anyone else know what that's about, or are you going to learn something new like we did?
Come on. This is what we want. This is what we want. And just an hour into the show, and we could have a competition with this, couldn't we?
If with a donation to the conservation fund, I think it was like $1. You can write a note and leave it there, and it's I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been wishes. You write a wish there. I can't remember exactly what the thing was you were meant to write on it. But it's
I know it's Claire's getting the drinks in when we go there in the summer.
Yeah,
and it's just written. It's there forever. That's it. So everyone can say Claire's paying. There we go.
Yeah, Claire's paying. But yeah, you can spend time looking at all the notes as well. It's really cute. There was also a notice board near the exit that we stood and because none of us knew it was new information to all of us, so we stood reading them all, and that was really cute. Something that we didn't know beforehand.
That's a massive thing in Animal Kingdom, and I'm not going to give away some of the secrets that Josh has been sharing, but actually, it's something that again. It'll open my eyes to something completely different when we get there in August. So, sounds good to me. Right, go on. I'm cracking on quickly. Anywhere else?
Are we going to Epcot? Are we going?
I think let's just do Epcot.
Shall we do
the Hollywood Studios?
Let's do the studios because I think there needs to be. Long. No, there needs to be a mention because I think they've tried really hard with this. Yeah.
Ogres.
Yeah. I enjoy
Ogres. I've got a photo here. The drink on the right is from Yak and Yeti, but the one on the left is called the Cup of Enchantment, which is a non-alcoholic cocktail that you can get in a few different places in Hollywood Studios. But this was kind of over down by Tower of Terror, and then the one in the middle, I think it's the same as Claire's photo from another one. Is it the fuzzy tum that one with the weird foam that makes your mouth go numb?
Sure.
Oh wow!
Oh.
Yeah.
I always thought served in a different glass.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe it's not that one. Then which one is it?
There's Jabba
is
juice as well.
Rim?
So that is the fuzzy town. That one there with the tingling foam. I think
the one in the middle.
That one there, the one in the middle, I think, is the fuzzy town. That's
I thought
orange vodka, Bowls peach, schnapps, orange juice, tangerine.
I think that's the outer rim because it's got the black salt on it. It's got the black salt around the outside. I think the fuzzy town. I mean, Carrie will definitely know.
The rim is red in colour because it's got.
I think you're right because I've actually I've been having a cheeky look here online. So no, because fuzzy
outer rim is this one, isn't it?
Is that the outer?
That's the outer rim. Yeah,
that's the same drink.
It's not the same drink.
Oh. Is it not?
Yeah, that's got pomegranate liqueur in it. So
I thought it was the same.
So ogres, the one that makes you the foam that makes your lips tingle is the funny tam tam.
Yeah,
so what
it was
that
the.
one,
so that
another
was
orange one that is that you've had, which
no, I had non-alcoholic one.
Which was the Hyperdrive Punch It.
That's what you had. I had one with apple.
This goes back to what I said earlier. I need to take more notes. What I'm drinking.
I mean, to be fair, we went to Hyperspace Mountain about 3 years ago.
Hyperspace Mountain.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
We're not used to this hot humidity
that
we get here, but yeah. Yeah.
I think as well the actual addition within the studios of ogres, but also I will make a nice little mention of the baseline tap house is actually, if you're going for a beer, it's a beautiful place to just sit and watch the world go by.
Yeah.
That's probably where I stop at the studios. I would never go and explore anywhere else because it's the most fabulous place just to watch the world.
John, what's happened is you've gone left and then you've gone past and there's Baseline Tap House, I'm going to sit there. What you need to do is start in Toy Story Land and then go into Galaxy's Edge that way and stop at Ogres.
Although I think Brown Derby Lounge has got some nice cocktails. Not that I've had any of them. But I think
Peter or Jill recommended non-alcoholic one.
Right.
Okay.
And there's the tune-in lounge as well. Which
The
is
tuning
nice.
lounge, we've often got cocktails in there, but I'm still a bit salty that they got rid of all the chairs. I used to be able to sit at the bar in there, have something from next door.
Robin, I love it when someone's got the same mentality as me. If somebody messes with something and they just change it for the worse, I don't go back in. That's it. You've had it. That's it. I won't do it.
Not until they change it back anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you are.
There you go.
wow.
There
That's
we go.
Next time.
They heard you. They heard you, Robin. That's it.
It's such a nice place to just sit. You chat to the barman, and I like it.
mean,
so-
if we moan about stuff can change.
Oh,
Which goes us right back to the beginning of the show when we said like
Does, doesn't it?
about the international guests not having access to that
We'll
things.
remember that a bit more.
Yeah.
So let's take that leap into Epcot, because actually we're going to do this really quickly, and actually it's the one where it's what don't you drink. It's probably the best thing to
Avocado
go
margarita.
because actually Epcot itself.
I will share the picture in the Waffler's Arms later on tonight. We were there. I think it was the second. It was on the first trip back after COVID. We joined some friends, and they all bought everyone an avocado margarita. This was the first
wow.
margarita
no,
I
you
ever
have to
drank.
pretend to drink it and like it.
I pretended that
Give you
it.
nice mimosas though as well.
Yeah, that's true. It did find the nearest Epcot trash can though.
Oh dear.
I have to say, I hear people say it's wonderful, but it's never appealed to me. I have to say, and you're not selling it to me either.
Not
No.
to my taste palette.
No, it's really it's fascinating, isn't it? Because that's
They do
actually
sell some nice margaritas though.
yeah, but you could end up spending a lot of money. I think Heather asked me earlier on in the chat about whether I do the drinking around the world. And yes, that is definitely on the go. And actually, it's Josh's 21st when we're out there in August. And that's his requested thing to do. So that could be a bit messy. If I go on the cocktails and Josh goes on the beers, I think we might be we might be flying home a week later than Alison and Joe. I think that might be it. You know.
In August, you got to pace yourself, John. Between every cocktail, you got to have a whole bottle of water.
Oh, it's a whole bottle of wine. There's actually. Yeah, I've actually gone through, and the last time we did this, we were with Neil and Karen from Portwood Travel, because it was my 50th, and it was a total surprise to me, but we then embarked upon drinking around the world. But there's a cracking picture of five drinks, but there's only 4 of us drinking. So I still to this day I'm thinking it could end up being messy again.
We
but
need video evidence.
Heather, I actually think that could make for. We did a really brilliant thing, and obviously I've written it all down. I'm trying to get my head around videoing stuff this time as opposed to writing it. But we did this thing where Forky, our Joe had got this Forky, and it was just like we took Forky around the world on our very last afternoon, and it was just the most fun thing that you can actually do with your child, of actually getting a picture of Forky in every single country around Epcot. I think if I do the same thing in video, by the time we get to the Rose and Crown and then Canada, it might be an afternoon where it could.
I was going to say, John,
I remember
that 5 years ago that you were sending us pictures on that day.
Yeah.
In our WhatsApp chat.
Yeah.
We were seeing Forky going around the world.
I've got an idea, John.
Yeah.
Give Joe the camera.
Yeah, that goes without saying. Having said that, he'll put it down somewhere and lose it. That's the only problem. That's what he does. Don't get me started on that one, Becca. That's a whole different thing. At least if I know I'm videoing it, I know at least I'll come back home with the camera. But yeah. Thank you, Wendy. Yeah. That's a Claire thing, isn't it?
Yep.
Two drinks. You would never catch me doing that, would you? I'm actually going down Claire's list here, and just really out of interest, because there's a lot within Epcot, and there's a lot, a lot that you can actually just brush under the carpet and say, oh, it's not really a cocktail. But actually, if you look into France and you look at some of the opportunities, even just having a glass of champagne when you're in France, Prosecco in Italy, the wine options, there's I think we did the wine walk when you go, I think between, is it Germany across to wherever, to probably Germany to France, and you stop at each one to get a glass of wine. That was another thing that's there, but there's loads to do, and that's without them.
I think for me, I always think that most parts of the showcase are more about the wines and beers than they are about absolute cocktails.
Yeah.
Like Morocco have got sangria on at their Spice Road table, so they have white, red, and rosé options for sangria. So if you want to sample a sangria, John, and you want food, stop at the Spice Road table and try through some of theirs. But I always think that it's more about the variation of beer and the wine options you've got around most of the showcase. But I think the Space 220.
Oh, I think that's kind of rewritten the whole Epcot thing for that type of drink, hasn't it?
Yeah. They do a good cocktail in there. I have had a few.
That is an imaginative menu as well, and you see it when you're in there that the barmen in there are still trying experiments on new cocktail recipes as well. They will riff on the day as to, they'll ask you if you want to try something that's not on the menu. So if you're kind of that adventurous person that is like, well, I want to try something off menu, and you're at the bar, they will definitely go all out to try and impress you with something that's not necessarily on there, but they might be trialing for future. I think that's the sign of a good bar, when you've got bartenders that know the spirits they're working with and are able to do a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as Carrie said, the difference not being Disney owned with a lot of it is makes the difference.
And I think that's the thing, when you think of a theme park, Epcot is one of those places where you think about that there's so many different places, and it's probably easier for people just to go, I want to know what the wine and the beer is from this country. That's it's easier for them to sort of promote that. But what do we think about when there's festivals for like food and wine? Is there an increase in different types of drinks?
Yeah, we usually have a list of drinks.
Yeah.
to try.
I love that.
I've got loads of stuff in that I love. So.
But I always find I'm a little bit shortchanged.
Yeah, sort of like quite a small.
$15, but it's half the size.
Yeah.
We had that cider flight. Is it Food and Wine last year? Or Flower and Garden? And that was three full-size cups for
$15.
$15.
Oh, that's not. I don't think that's bad then. I suppose, but yeah, how much is a cider normally in Disney?
$9.
I'm not sure.
About $9. Yeah.
No, so that's good then. Yeah. No, if you have a cocktail, I'm talking teeny tiny glass and $15.
Here's your sampler.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend that travels with a laminated card of her favourite drinks at Disney.
Is this a friend or is it That's funny.
I wonder why it has to be laminated. Like,
so the drink. Or is it because what you do, it's got like little check boxes and you tick them off each time and then you wipe it at the end.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
That idea.
Because
I like that idea.
Yeah.
So when you're that hammered after you've drank 12 of the drinks, you can just turn it around and point at the bartender and say,
"But this is what John needs."
I think this is perfect. I've already got.
John doesn't need like a small card. He needs like an A4 piece of paper.
Wow.
All laminated with one of them treasury tag things through the top corner from every page. Hang on a minute, I'll be within 10 minutes. I'll order in a second. Yeah. Oh dear.
I think the one thing, unless I've no, sorry, I'll start again. I think the one thing that I think everyone can agree on in Epcot though for cocktails that you have to go to is in France, and you have to get a frozen. Is it
the Grey Goose slushy?
Frozen slush.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a frozen slushy. So they either do the orange or the lemon, and I think that's in Claire's photo on the left here.
Yeah.
I think that must be the lemon one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to admit, I've never actually had one.
I feel like tonight's show is like saying what we haven't had.
Yeah, it's been on the list to have.
I can see my expenses getting
It's
rammed up for
actually-
August, can't I? I'll take a hit for the team, guys. You're all right.
So it's all fine. I think Simon and Robin may have frozen, which is quite
Oh dear.
There you
Quite-
go. Yeah,
quite good on a
that's-
frozen
that's-
slush
Yeah,
drink.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, maybe that's a sign. It's a sign.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
having said that, what I don't want to do is take us way too long. And actually, I've got a list that's actually extending by the moment as to what to do in August. So that sounds we've covered rather a lot rather quickly. Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Heather.
And if anyone
book
in
time.
tonight's chat, please join us in the Waffler's Arms, because
Yeah.
what I want you to do, we need to add to John's list.
Yes.
So please join us on our
Photos.
Facebook community. We need,
Yeah.
And names and where you can find them.
Yeah. Give him a list of all,
And if you
all
have,
the ones
if you
that's
have the
got
price, just to help Alison budget, it'll be fine.
I think what we could do on some of the days, John, is just message and ask for recommendations for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Post it each day.
Yeah.
And we'll chuck stuff at you. A bit like, with the Weatherspoons thing where people post
Yeah.
buying random drinks for certain tables.
Oh, I
I think
love
we'll
that.
do
That'd
that
be
for
cool.
you, John. when you're
Oh,
there.
brilliant. That'd be so funny. That'd be really good fun. I think that'd be, yeah. What cracking way of just building up the excitement for August, which is already near at fever pitch as well. So that'll do for me. But thanks, guys. Can I just a massive thank you to everyone who's been live in the chat. That has been such an amazing episode to be part of, but also to read so many of the comments that have been going on as well.
Yeah.
And I think I'll take us back to where we were at the very beginning of the show. 5 years couldn't have happened without everyone who's supported us and everyone who's actually been part of what we've done, because it's actually been such a giggle. And I think with everything that's gone on in those 5 years, those giggles either on a Wednesday night or as part of a podcast, it really does keeps you positive. It keeps you really mindful of how lucky some of us are.
I want to highlight a message that we got sent earlier on, I think it was yesterday, to say that we have survived a pandemic and also Bob Chapek. So I think we're doing quite well.
It's good. And I think that's the way we think about 5 years. Yeah, it's something we're really proud of.
And if you noticed on our YouTube channel today and also on our podcast, we did have a special show, which was our favourite podcast moment over the last 5 years. There was it's 35. It's not too long. It's 35 minutes in total. But there were so many clips, and I couldn't believe how much stuff we have done in 5 years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it really is. And we've got a new podcast out on Monday as well. So by the time we meet next Wednesday, there's a new podcast out.
And we'll be planning a trip to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Don't we have one on Saturday as well?
We do as well. Yeah.
There you are. You
Is
lucky people.
That's the final one of the month of June as well, isn't it?
So yeah, the one on
Lucky
Saturday.
people.
The
Three
one,
podcasts and 3 in a week.
wow. So yeah, the one on Saturday will be the one what we're most looking forward to over the next 5 years. And I know there's a lot of things.
More blue sky thinking.
D23, where we actually get what we want. We almost had it yesterday with Fast Pass, but
Almost.
I think next week we are going to actually either completely explode, or it might be a little bit clearer as to exactly where Disney are going with this. Heather, Disneyland, and actually it was such an amazing show to actually put together, and without any spoilers, it's quite surprising as how cheaply you can actually do it.
Yeah,
because that was a bit that I took away. Again, part of my education. That's what I do this show for. I get educated on stuff. But it's amazingly cheap coming from the UK to Disneyland, and I hadn't expected that.
Yeah.
So we explore that during the course of that podcast as well. And there is an absolutely beautiful Imagineering segment as well. I'm not going to say any more, but Robin, you did a cracking job of it. It was absolutely on point. So I was, wonderful. So I think that's about it. Getting the wafflers out for everything that comes afterwards.
Yeah.
Check out Instagram, Thread, TikTok, Facebook, you name it, for all at GB Mickey Waffle. And just thank you for being in the chat and for you guys for basically educating me. Yeah, I'm now going to go to the kitchen. I'm going to concoct some amazing drink or whatever. And if my Facebook's been hacked by tomorrow morning, I'll know why. Well, cheers everyone. And there's only one thing left to say. We'll see you real soon.
Cheers.
See you real soon.
Bye.